So, as many of you guys know, I've been anything but shy about talking about the things that I just completely disagree with Valve on, especially when it has to do with their cosmetics. I just think their cosmetics are absolutely ridiculously priced. And with the most recent update, the one that introduced the terminal to the game, I feel like this is just going to get even worse. And apparently, I'm not the only one that feels this way. Some of CS's biggest content creators are also speaking out about this.
So first of all, what is the Genesis terminal? Well, I've got 101 here, but I'm gonna open 100 in a unboxing video, but I can open one here for you guys to show you what it really is. You get them rarely from the weekly care package as a free drop. It may look like it's free to open, but it's not. It's free to look inside, which I'll show you, so I haven't paid anything. So far, it's all free, and I'm gonna get the skin right here. Now, if I actually want this skin, I'm gonna have to buy it. If you don't like the skin, you can also choose to re-roll the case 5 times by declining the offer, and then you see it's gonna re-roll. It's like you're opening another case, and now I can choose to buy this one instead for only 12 cents. You can
Now, one thing I'm very curious of as a skin creator, I know that in the past, a lot of skin creators got paid off of the income that Valve made off of keys. But with this system, there is no keys. You get these free inside of weekly drops, or of course, you can buy them. I think they're about $10 right now on the market. But the keys were actually how the content creators made their money. So I'm kind of curious how they're actually paying the workshop artists. You know, do they pay them just a flat rate up front, or are they getting paid based on sales? Because as you can see, ones like this are only 12 cents. I mean, how much of that 12 cents are they actually going to give to that artist? So I'm a little confused. I'm kind of curious how they're going to pay their workshop artists moving forward.
choose to buy any of these skins that you unbox, but you can never go back. Like the P250 I declined, I can't buy that one again, and it's lost. Now, if I keep declining, I'll get another offer. Yeah, also still shit. I can decline this one again. Now it's the 4th offer. That's also shit. I can decline it again, and this should be my last offer. And you can see it's still really bad. Now, on the last offer you get, you can choose to buy it, but I don't want it, or decline it. If you decline it, the entire case is going to self-destruct, and it's gone. Now, it may look like I still have it, but I don't. It's actually just gone from my inventory. The exact odds of the Genesis terminal aren't known, but I'd assume it's like a normal case where the blues have an 80% chance, the purples are 16%, the pinks are around 3.3%, and the reds around 0.66%. With
I'm not quite sure if anybody actually knows what the odds are on this thing quite yet. I would imagine those odds sort of go up a little bit because you're actually getting to open 5 at a time instead of 1, but I'm not real sure about that. I haven't seen anything to confirm or deny how much the odds are on these things.
Stat track, of course, being 10 times rarer. And here is where my problem with the Genesis case lies. Unlike the similar X-ray cases, where you can also preview what's inside the case without buying, here you don't pay the $2.5 for the key. Here you pay an individual price for any skin that you open, like you saw. Now, this individual price gets a lot higher if the skin is a lot rarer. It could be 10, 20, 30 cents, like you saw, or it could be all the way up to $1,600 to just buy from the case. This type of pricing, in a sense, makes it much harder for people without a lot of money to get good skins from their drops.
And that's one of the big points that I make a lot, is that only if you have a lot of money, or maybe if you got into this game early enough and you were able to save up, some old stickers and some old items, and maybe you've got like a $500,000 inventory. For people like that, obviously they can sell part of their inventory and this will be no problem for them. It'll be very easy. But for anyone new coming into this game, any of the younger people who are coming in, they're just simply not going to be able to afford this stuff. It's just crazy.
Normal case, you just pay $2.5 for a key, and then you have a chance for any item in here. It could be the worst item in the case, but it could also be something crazy like an Asimov or even a knife, which could be really expensive. Everyone has the same odds, everyone pays the same price, and everyone has the same chance for example, a skeleton ruby. But with a
I mean, that makes a lot of sense because before you'd buy a key for $2.50, you might buy a case for $1. So you've got a $3.50 investment, which is going to be something that most people can afford. And you have your chance of actually getting something that's worth something, which you can then turn around, reinvest, do some things with. But with this system, that's just simply not the case. You're not going to be able to afford those higher tier items unless you just already have a lot of money or you just have a massive inventory. So really, this is only going to work for a very small select few. This isn't going to be a great system moving forward to help bring new people into the game.
Genesis case, if you're broke, you can't get lucky anymore. Because if you get lucky and get one of the reds, for example, you're going to be paying such an incredibly high price that many people won't afford it at all. The luckier you get in the Genesis terminal, the more expensive of a price you have to pay for the skin. It's retarded. Here is, for example, a screenshot I found
really
of a
is.
guy who got the StatTrak Full Throttle factory new with a good float, and he has to pay the light sum of $1,587.
I mean, most people can't just come out of pocket $1,500. That's 3 or 4 months rent for some people. There is no reason in the world that a cosmetic should cost this much money. It's just absolutely ridiculous. And I talk about this, a lot of people go, well, in Valorant, you can't sell your skins. Yeah, that's true. But my entire Valorant inventory, I got for less than a field tested print stream. And I got the stuff that I actually wanted for not a lot of money. Yes, you can turn around and you can resell these items on markets and stuff and make money back off of it. But if you're just looking to have some cosmetics in a video game, spending $300 and being able to completely kit out your inventory is not a huge investment, and it's not anywhere near the hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of investment that people are throwing into this game. So to me, this game is just turned into a rich person's game. If you aren't rich and you don't have a lot of money, you really can't afford these cosmetics.
This is quite literally the price he has to pay from his Steam wallet just to get this skin. What? Another one I found, this guy got a StatTrak factory new AK Oli.
That's crazy too, because the M4, I have been wanting a bright green M4 in this game for so long. Like a lot of, if you go take a look at my workshop and you look at a lot of the stuff that I make, I have a lot of bright green M4s in there because I've always wanted one inside of the game, and they finally get one. And now it's going to cost me, $800 to $1,500. It's just, it's insane to me.
Decent float, but not crazy. 1,141 pounds, which equals 1,550 US dollars. And the guy who opened this skin couldn't even claim it because he had to pay so much money. When he tried refilling his Steam wallet, it actually gave him an error because he had hit the deposit limit. The skin.
Not only that, but let's say you get a traded item. So the case only lasts for 3 days. Items are on a trade hold for 7 days. So if you get a traded item, if your idea is to sell it and try to buy something out of one of these cases, make sure that you wait till that 7-day trade hold is over because the case only lasts for 3 days.
You get from cases now are so expensive you can't even buy them. So the skins you get are absolutely mind-blowingly expensive to get. You're talking about old cases. You got these skins for $2.5 key. Now you have to pay the retail price. In my opinion, this kind of feels like Valve are doing an idiot limit test. They're testing their community to see just how stupid they are, how much they're willing to pay for these skins to push the price as high as possible for Valve to make more money. The worst part comes here in this menu where you can see all of this. Now, some of the messages the arms dealer sends are absolutely very pushy to get you to buy the skins. If you open a red, it says something like, that's covert. You see something like that show up on the open market maybe once in a lifetime if you're lucky. Guess you just got lucky. Ah yes, paying $1,600 is lucky! I can't believe how shamelessly they're pushing you to try to buy these ultra overpriced skins straight from Valve. If that text is not already trying to really push you towards buying it, guess what? They also have a timer that's 3 days from when you first unseal the terminal, and if
That's what I was talking about. So if you don't claim whatever's inside of the terminal within 3 days, it just disappears.
You don't claim a skin from the terminal within these 3 days, the entire terminal, along with whatever skin you have inside of it, are just gone. Something that's also a bit fishy is this here original owner certificate, which you get only if you buy the skin yourself from the terminal. And you can't even see it in someone else's inventory. It doesn't show up in game. It's just for you in your inventory to flex that you opened it. Another scummy thing.
Yeah, and I've seen some people talking about this, and they actually said that once you trade it away, that original certificate is gone. It seems like it should stay with the weapon, regardless of if it's traded or it's sold. It just doesn't make a lot of sense why you would add it and then take it away once that item is given to somebody else. I don't know. It's weird.
Is the collection catalog XP, where the more skins you open and see in the terminal, the more XP you get. I claimed this one because I'd seen all the blues and I got 1 free XP level. But this is also kind of edging people on, just, hey, you should open some more. You should open, because you get XP also, even if you don't claim anything. But the scum.
That's basically just Valve's way of saying, oh, you know, this isn't like a case. You actually get something out of it. We're going to give you a little bit of XP, even if you don't buy anything. It's just a way for them to circumvent some of the gambling laws and stuff, because now they can basically say, oh, no, every time someone opens it, they actually get something out of it. 1 XP.
Thing out of all, this little information box next to the purchase button. Because guess what this one tells you? The price you're paying, it's not always the price. Because prices are global and adjusted automatically based on demand for each item in this collection. To show you guys how this probably works, I've made this graph where you can see this line is the price of any given item from the terminal. You can see the price goes up and down like it should with any usual item. Basically the price the skin is worth, not the price you're paying. The red line, that's the price you're gonna be paying. Because it's based on demand, which is how many people skip the skin or actually buy the skin. When a lot of people are skipping, Valve lowers the price to make more people buy it. And when people are buying it, Valve raises the price because then they realize, oh, they can make more money. When the green line, which is the price it's worth, is more than the red line, which is the price you pay from Valve, a lot of people are gonna be redeeming it because they get profit. And then Valve increases the price, and here you can see not many people are going to be redeeming it because you'd be paying more than it's actually worth. So then
keep in mind, this is them manipulating it at will. When they feel like they want to manipulate it, they have the ability to do that. It's not like it used to be where the community actually decided on the price. Now Valve is going to have complete control over that, and they're going to push this to a ridiculous level. Like, I mean, this is one of the scummiest things I have ever seen inside of a video game before.
The price drops until here, a lot of people are redeeming it, and this is how it goes. This is how Valve is always one step ahead of everyone, because Valve are the only people who can sell all of these skins for a cheaper price than they're actually worth, because they're generating them for free. And then I also filled them in, and
they're not really generating them for free. Now, I mean, of course, they have some that they generate themselves. They also have to pay the workshop creators, which you know, obviously they've got to be able to make money on that as well. But this just seems like a massive cash grab. This just doesn't seem right at all to me.
Colors mean green, it's profitable to redeem them, and red, it's not profitable to redeem them. Do not redeem them! And you can see how it works. This is how Valve are always maximizing the amount of money they make from the terminal by changing the price of the skins depending on supply and demand. Which also, of course, means that if you have a bunch of these expensive skins from the terminal and not many people are redeeming them from the terminal because they're too expensive, the price is probably gonna go down, which means...
Yeah, exactly. So you could end up paying $1,500 for one of these items, and if nobody else is buying them, in a couple weeks they could drop down to $200. And if they drop down to $200, you just basically got screwed. You might as well just bend over. I can't even imagine. And there's going to be some people who are going to rush out to buy these things, and they're just going to completely get hosed in this deal.
Holding any skins from this collection, I guess, would be risky as fuck, because you don't control the market price, the players don't control the market price, Valve seemingly controls the market price. And oh, by the way, I'm saying the players control the market price, but in the latest update, where Valve say that Belgium, Netherlands, and France can now unseal their sealed Genesis terminal items, they don't refer to us as players, they write customers. You are customers to Valve. Even if you don't buy anything, you're just a customer. They don't care. Now, some people might say that 1,600 $600 for a CS skin, that's not unheard of. I mean, Anomaly, you have this skeleton ruby in your inventory and it's worth like 6k. Why are you complaining about the $1,600 AK? Because this skin was sold by Valve for $2.5. We, the players, decided that it was worth $6,000. We, the players, have not had any say in pricing this M4 at $1,600. That was all done by greedy Valve. The thing
And that's exactly what I was saying earlier. The people don't control the price of these items. Basically, Steam is setting those prices, and it's going to cause a lot of confusion in the market. You're going to have people that are going to be thinking that these things should be worth $5,000 now. And they'll be trying to sell them on third-party sites for that much. In all reality, you know, next week, someone could unbox one for $80. So is it really worth $6,000? I mean, it's going to cause a lot of confusion around what these things should actually cost. I don't think this is going to push the price of them down, but I think it's actually going to cause the market to just go absolutely crazy.
is any other game would have gotten so much backlash for releasing such an expensive skin in their game. This reminds me of that time League of Legends released a skin bundle for $500 together with Faker and got a lot of backlash. In League of Legends, for $500, what did you get? Well, you got all of this. Skin upgrades, final boss title, border, a banner, some art, I don't even know, some legend collection, 100 battle pass levels, like a ton of fucking shit. And what do we get in CS for more than 3 times the price? One single skin, nothing extra at all. I've been saying for a really long time that CS is becoming more and more of a sellout game, and sadly this just proves my point even more with these Genesis terminals.
I was really surprised to hear this coming from Anomaly. Now, this is one of the things that I've been saying on this channel for a very long time. And again, I always get a lot of pushback from the community, and I get it. There's people who are going to support their game. They're going to die on that hill. They don't want to admit that the game that they love so much is scamming people because it makes it look bad. But these prices are just absolutely ridiculous. There should never be a cosmetic that costs that much inside of a video game. These are video games, okay? It just shouldn't cost that much.
You're probably realizing by now, I don't like this new system of cases. But I'm also worried this might be their first steps into their new type of case because of European and worldwide loot box laws. In Belgium and in Netherlands, cases are completely banned. And in France, cases are kind of restricted. They don't have normal cases, they only have the X-ray cases, which are somehow loopholing the laws and kind of still making cases available. But many countries worldwide are trying to ban loot boxes. I know Sweden has a very big discussion about it. I think Denmark and Norway are talking about it, and many, many more countries.
Which I've talked about that plenty of times too. Loot boxing is gambling. I mean, it's just straight up gambling, and it should have never been inside of video games. And I just think that this is probably an attempt to try to get around that, but at the same time, not have skins be a normal price like they are inside of every other game. You know, inside of Call of Duty, if I want a purple AK, I go pay $20 for it. Yes, I can't make money off of it, but at least I get the thing I want to enhance the game that I want to play. Now, Call of Duty is probably a bad example because they release a new one every year, and a lot of times those things don't carry forward. So in my opinion, that's a little bit of a scam too, but at least I get the stuff that I want and I don't have to go broke doing it.
Is probably Valve's solution to avoid those loot box laws. Valve knows the government doesn't like loot boxes. And since the whole business model of Counter-Strike is just casino disguised as a video game, Valve knows they have to prepare something for when the laws eventually get stricter in the future. I'm glad people are finally recognizing that. I mean, technically, the Genesis case, the Genesis terminal, it's not really a case at all. Because technically, on paper, if you don't buy it, it's a free drop, and it's free to look inside, and only if you want the skin, then you have to pay. So it kind of avoids those laws. It's not really a case. And me having bought all of these terminals, I've now paid to hopefully have a chance of getting a really rare chance to pay for another skin. The retail price. What the fuck? I hate how greedy Valve have become in the last few years. And in my opinion, the Genesis terminal, it's just like a big Ponzi scheme. Everyone is only buying the rare and expensive items from the terminal to resell them for more value, as you can can see here, people are trying to resell them for absurd prices. And you can see a field tested one, which is sold for, I think, 50 euro. They're trying to get 800 euro for it. It's
That's exactly what I was talking about earlier, because this community has been conditioned to think that these things are worth so much money. They're going to get them very cheap off of that terminal, and then they're going to turn around and just try to jack the prices up. And there's going to be some people who can pay that. 800 may not be anything to someone that's got $1 million in crypto, but for the normal average player, they're never going to be able to afford these items. It's just completely ridiculous.
ridiculous. Now, finally, for the people wondering,
That was
Anomaly,
good
do you
timing.
think we're gonna see more of these terminal cases in the future? Well, this first terminal is named Genesis. Genesis means the origin or coming into being of something. It basically means the beginning. So yeah, unfortunately, I think we're gonna be seeing a whole lot more of these terminal cases. So thank you guys for watching this more serious video where I explain
it's
why
just
I
crazy.
absolutely hate the terminal cases, and I can just hope that enough of us just skip the items until they become dirt cheap so we can all afford them. But even then, if we can all afford them, Valve are just gonna increase the prices, so the customers, we can't win. Thank you guys for watching. Fuck
Nope.
Valve. Whoop him!
So my personal feelings on this entire terminal system is that it's just completely unreasonable. There's no reason that these cosmetics should cost this much when they first come out. If we really take a look back at CS history, some of the weapons now inside of the game that are worth thousands of dollars, take for example the Vulcan. When it first came out, you could pick one up for around $77. Same thing with the hydroponic. This weapon is now worth well over $2,000, but when it first came out, you could pick one up for around $90 at its lowest. And when it comes to new things being introduced to the game, it should be that way with all of them. You should be able to pick them up at a much cheaper price when they first come out, and then let the market build over time and let them actually be an investment. However, when Valve starts the prices off at this high of a level, it makes it very hard for anyone new coming into the game to be able to even make that investment, because a big part of the community has been conditioned to think that these things are worth so much more than they actually are. It's very likely that you're not going to see the price on these items drop. They bought them for $1,500. They're going to feel like they should be worth $3,000 or $4,000 already, and that's how they're going to be selling them, which is going to push them even further out of the reach of most normal players. So to me, I just think this entire thing is completely ridiculous. I wish Valve would really rethink this a little bit, because at these current prices, most people just aren't going to be able to afford these items.